All right, let's see if we got it now. Happy Sunday afternoon. It's good to be here. Feel like I'm a little bit behind, but we will get caught up. So we are going to be making 2 cards that are very, very similar. These are called a Shadow Box Fun Fold card. And for the month of September, I decided that we would make the same card twice, or the same design twice, and do it in 2 different manners. So the first one has a little mushroom gnome house, and then we take off the belly band and we open it up, and it says Jolly, and it has that cute little gnome. It sits up just like that, so it has a nice little shadow box feel. Okay, so that's the first card. And then the second card is using the stamp set all bundled up. And I just love, love, love these cute little critters. So we'll take the belly band off of that. And when you open this one, it has the cute little moose on the inside. And it says, it's feeling a lot like Christmas. So those are the 2 cards that we will be working on today. It's been a couple weeks since I did this class, so I hope that I have all of my supplies here with me, but if not, we'll grab them and get started. All right. Hopefully I can get somebody to jump on here and make sure all the voice and everything is working correctly. All right, so we're going to be doing kind of working on both cards at the same time, because the steps are similar for setting it up, and then we'll do all the coloring. So the first thing I need for the all bundled up card is, I have a piece of cardstock here, regular standard cardstock, and this measures 8.5 by 11. I'm going to first cut it at 5.5. So this will be one part of my base. And then I'm going to cut this next piece at 6.5 inches. And this piece is just scrap. All right, so I'm going to start off by scoring. Here is my other one. So I'm going to cut this piece at 6.5. And that's scrap. All right, so here we are. We have these 2 sets. So this is for the gnome card, and this set is for the other card. So let me grab my scoreboard. And I'm going to do all of my scoring at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to score, putting my 8.5 inch side at the top. And I'm going to score this at 2 1/8. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. Then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Score it at 2 1/8. Flip it and score it at 2 1/8. All right, so that creates my center fold, just like that. My next piece measures 5.5 by 6.5 inches, and I need to score these at 4 different spots. The first one, we're going to score it at 1/2, and then we'll score it at 1 5/8. And I've also put the score marks in the description on my YouTube channel, so you can see them there. So we had 1/2, 1 5/8, 4, 7/8 and 6. So a half, 1 5/8, 4 7/8, and 6. Now I'm going to do score the next one the same way. A half an inch, 1 5/8, 4 7/8, and then at 6 inches. All right, so that is all the scoring that we're going to do on that. Now you can take any shape die you want. We're going to cut out the center, and it's going to be kind of centered towards the top. I've seen people use ovals, circles, the diorama dies. I'm just going to use this lovely stitched hexagon die. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, run it through my Gemini Junior. Okay, looks like that. Go ahead and I'll run that through. All right, that's the first one. And I'm going to use this center piece, so there is no waste on this card. All right. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the black. I'm going to go ahead and stick that on there just like that. And I'm going to run that through. All right. Pop that out. And get that out of the die. And we are all done die cutting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines here. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this card. So it looks like that. Okay. Next up, I'm just going to set those two aside, and I'm going to bring these two back in. Go ahead and get those nice and folded. And I have two pieces of white cardstock here. And these measure 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And these are going to be glued down right here in this center section. All right. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue this one down. So like I said, we're going to kind of work on both of these cards at the same time because we're going to do the steps the same on each card. All right, so now I'm ready to glue that one in, and I'm ready to glue this one in. So let's go ahead and we're going to start that. And I'm going to take my tear and tape here. And I'm going to put tear and tape all the way up. And I'm also going to use liquid glue. Now I'm using tear and tape because it's nice and secure and it's really easy to see in the video. Okay. So I'm going to take my backing off, the tear and tape. I'm also going to put liquid glue on here, and that's just so that I have a little bit of wiggle room when I place this on my card. So I'm going to line up this edge that I put glue on with this edge right here. There we go. Just like that. So that's what it looks like right now. I'm going to take my bone folder and give it a good press. And now I'm going to take this edge that I put my tear and tape on. I will peel off the backing. And I'm going to put a little liquid glue so I have a little wiggle room. There we are. And I'm going to glue these edges together, just like so. Okay. And that's what's going to give us our shadow box feature. Make sure that you're able to close it, press it shut, just like that, okay? Now I'm going to repeat the same thing with this next card. All right, so putting on my tear and tape. Oh, that tore a little early, I guess. All right, so there's that. Go ahead and peel that backing off and add some glue, just like I did on the other one. Line up these two edges. Give it a good press. Perfect. Now I'm going to take my tear and tape off the back of this one. Add just a little bit of liquid glue so that I have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to press that. There we are. Now I'm going to close it. Make sure it closes. You make sure if your card does not close at this point, chances are that something has been scored incorrectly. All right, so I have two of these pieces. And I have this, but it's not cut correctly. So these two snowflake pieces measure 5 3/8 by 2 inches. So I need to cut this at 5 3/8 by 2 inches and 2 inches, just like that. Okay. I also will need two pieces that measure 7/8 of an inch for the inside. And is that one? And that one will work. All right, so there we go. Go ahead and set that over here again. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to put glue on the back of my snowflake piece. And this paper is from the Kindest Gnomes. I just love this Pacific Point blue. It is so pretty. And I don't think that I use it enough. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this side. And we're going to glue that down. There we are. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this card. I love this All About Gingham or Gotta Have Gingham paper pack. I love the variety of the different sizes of gingham that you can get. And I love how much paper there is in it. Like, you really do get a lot of paper. It's like four sheets of each. And then there's like 48 sheets. So yes, it's a super awesome deal. All right, so now we're that far. On the blue card, these pieces that measure 7/8 by 5 3/8, I have the gingham, and so this vellum, on my original card, I tried to put just little dots of glue on the back of this felt so you couldn't see it, but it still leaked out. So at this point, it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. That piece is just a little too long, so we're just going to trim that off. And of course it's not straight, but it'll be fine. But for my other one, I'm going to just double check to make sure it's 5 3/8, and it too is just a little bit long, but we trim it, call it good, put some glue on the backs of those little snowball dropping looking things. And there we go. Put glue on the back of this one. Much easier when it's not vellum. And there's that one. And I will put the glue that one down. All right, so that's where we are so far. All right, so from class, I have 3 different mushrooms left. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to fussy cut one of these mushrooms. Now there is a die. Oh heck, let me just grab the die. Here is the big mushroom die. And the die does match up with the DSP. So I'm just going to line that up like so. And I'm going to run it through my Gemini. All right. Go ahead and throw that away. Put my die back in the container. Like that. Okay, so we have a piece of the Kindness Gnomes Dsp. And it has like some snowflakes on one side and it has mushrooms on the other. On my first card, I did the snowflakes. But I feel like maybe on this one, I am going to do the mushrooms up front. Because, well, I'm using a red mushroom on this card, where the other card I had blue. And I'm going to trim this off. It's a little long. Okay. So what I did was I wrapped this around my card so that I have a nice snug fit. Okay. I didn't score it. I just wrapped it around, trimmed it, put a little glue on it. Now this piece that we cut from the center, you know, I put it like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue just across that center piece. And I'm going to line that up in the center. Then I'm going to take my mushroom and I'm going to put some dimensionals all over the back. It is cut from the DSP, so it's a little thinner than regular cardstock. So I want to make sure that it's not going to bend or warp. Okay, and go ahead and peel these off. All right. I just love this mushroom paper. Go ahead and center that. And that's what our front looks like when our card is closed. Now in our stamp set here, I'm also using 'Tis the Season to Jingle, Jingle, Jingle. And I'm using the stamp 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly. And I've already stamped that on this strip of paper. I've stamped it a few times. So I'm just going to cut that off. And it's too long, so I cut it so it would say 'Tis the Season to Be, but on 2 lines. Okay. I'm just going to trim this with my scissors. And I'm going to put Season to Be on first because I want to make sure that I have enough room for it. So I'm going to just glue this right here. And then 'Tis the, I'm going to put just right over the top. Just like that. So now it says 'Tis the Season to Be. And I have already stamped Jolly, and the Jolly is stamped with the Pacifica ink. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open my card. I'm going to put glue on this, so it's my card is going to say 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly. And I'm going to open it just on one side so that it will lie flat. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Now, in my little dish here, I have all the pieces to assemble my little gnome. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now. I have extra beards for whatever reason. All right, let me grab my silicone craft sheet. Okay. Dump all my pieces out. Obviously, I had extra things. Okay, so here we are. I am missing a nose, so I may have to cut the nose out again, which is fine. All right, so we are going to, we're going to start with the beard, because if you look closely on the beard, it has like little guidelines so you know where to glue the hat on. Okay, where to line up the hat. So I'm going to put a little glue here and a little glue there. And I'm going to take my hat and I'm going to just stick it down just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of his beard. And I'm just going to line up his beard with the feet or boots, just like this, and stick it down. And then I have my 2 mushroom tops. So I cut the stems out of crumb cake. And I'm just going to put a little glue on the tip of each, or top of each stem. Oops. And then I'm going to put a mushroom cap on each one. There we are. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of each stem so that my mushrooms can hide in the grass. So let's see here. Go ahead and put this mushroom here. And then that mushroom there. Perfect. All right. We still need a nose. And I thought I had one laying here. And I was not sure where it had come from, but now obviously I do know where it came from. But here's a little piece of pink. And I will grab my nose piece out of my die cuts right there. And we will just run that through real quick and I'll have a nose. There we are. All right, so go ahead and I will take my little needle, unpoke it. There we go. I'll put my die back in the case so I don't lose it. And I'm going to grab a mini dimensional and put it on the back of his nose. There we are. And I'm going to glue his nose down right where it says to, or where the lines are in the, on the beard die cut. All right, so going to put some glue on the back of my gnome. Boy, my glue tip is just rather gross. I'm going to have to clean that. So with this centered, I am just going to go ahead and drop it down and glue it down. Then I'll put just a little bit of glue right here in that corner. And I will glue my mushrooms there. All right, and then that card is done. Easy peasy. All right, so that's the first card. And then here is the original. Now, on my original card, I took some stickles and I just put some glitter on the mushroom cap. I'm going to not do that on the second card. I probably will later, but in the interest of saving some time, I'm not going to do that right now. So there's those two cards. How cute are those? Now we have to do some stamping for this card. Okay, so we need the rabbit, the bird, the raccoon, and the moose. So let me go ahead and grab my Stampratus. Here we are. And I'm going to stick this down in here and we're going to stamp them all at once. All right, so here is that stamp set. I have a moose and my raccoon. I love this moose. That's why I bought this set. It's all about the moose. There is my rabbit. And then my sentiment, it's feeling a lot like Christmas. We're going to go ahead and see if I can fit that right along the top because I'm going to need it on a strip anyway. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and stamp this. And then we'll spend some time coloring. Now, because the colors that I chose for this card were pretty generic, you can really color any color you want. You could have a brown rabbit if you would like. You do not have to have the same colors that I do. The only color I would suggest that you were careful with is red. Make sure that, because we have a red band, but if you decided that you couldn't find a red in your stash that matched the real red from Stampin' Up, that is okay. my moose is not stamped. Oh, there we go. That is much better. You could change out this band. It's a 1-inch piece, 1 by 11-inch strip. And you could literally change this band out to be any color that you wanted to complement your card, because the rest of it's all black and white. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my stamp chamois, clean up my stamps. There we are. And I'm going to throw my stamps right back in the container. So that will be one less thing I have to do later. There we are. Perfect. Okay. And close my Stamparatus and set it aside. Done, done, and done. Now we're going to just spend some time coloring. All right, so I think I'm going to just grab some colors here. This is Tahitian Tide. And I'm going to start with that color for the scarf on the bunny and the bird. And I have the dark and the light, so Tahitian Tide. And then this is just my colorless blender. I'm going to use that on the belly of my bird. And I also have some Tahitian Tide on his scarf. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the scarf on the moose. And I'm just going to randomly color every other I guess square. There we are. And then let's see. Color the bird. I'm going to grab some pink because I like to have pink cheeks. And I'm just going to use some petal pink. And I'm going to add my pink to my cheeks on all of my animals. And then my light Tahitian Tide. Now on the stomach of my bird, I'm just going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to go along that edge, and that's just going to soften that edge. And I'm going to go over and make his face a little lighter. There we go. Bird, 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 bird is the word. All right. So I think, oh, I had a blue scarf. Now, when I'm doing a lot of coloring, like when I'm just doing my own thing, I do add a lot of shading. However, I am not going to add shading to this because I want to show you that when a lot of people aren't confident in shading, they get really frustrated if theirs isn't turning out. So we're just not going to shade. We're just going to let it go and not worry about it, and just show that not everything has to be shaded. So now I grabbed my dark and light Parakeet Party. So I'm going to take the light and I'm going to just work on my scarf over here, coloring every other square. Now on my original, I used my Copic markers. And the reason for that is when I designed this card, I was at a scrapbooking retreat and I only brought my Copics. I did not bring my Stampin' Blends. So I had to color with my Copics. All right, I think that's all the green. And again, I'm not getting into the shading. And I used Real Red cardstock, so I'm going to use Real Red blends. And I'm just going to use the light here. All right, you'll see that I kind of went out of the lines. I went into my moose's face. So I'm just going to push that red back up. And then I'm just going to let it dry. I'll come back to it. I'm not going to stress about it, because the one thing I've noticed with Stampin' Blends is the more saturated they get, the more likely they're going to bleed into each other. So just going to let it go. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take the dark Real Red and I'm going to color my little bird's scarf. And then he's done. I'm going to color my raccoon scarf. And then his scarf will be done. Okay. And then my rabbit's coat is going to be in Real Red. Again, no shading, you know, and it's okay. All right, so, oh, look at there. I forgot an entire side of his scarf. Okay, there we go. Did I forget anything? Oh, I want to add some pink to the ears of my animals. There we go. All right, now I'm going to pick some browns. I just grabbed a selection here. These are my skin tone colors. I don't know which color I'm going to color anything. Here's a piece of white scrap so I can test my markers over here. I don't feel like that's a good color. Oop, I like this one. So this one is SU 500. And I'm going to color his ears in this ear. And then I'm going to color his body in this SU 500. There we are. Okay. I have my little scrap paper here. Now I think I'm going to do the hooves in this SU 200. Okay. And the inside of his mouth. On my original card, I didn't even color the inside of his mouth. And then this is SU 300. I don't think I like that color. Let's see what color this is. Ooh, that's awfully brown. Let me grab some more browns. All right, so I'm looking for a brown to color his face. I think that'll work. So I think I'm going to use SU 900 to color his face. There we are. And then I'm going to use this SU 800 for his antlers, I think. I don't really know what color a moose's antlers are. Maybe they're supposed to be darker. I did them a different brown on my original card. But you know, I just want to show that you can really color any color that you want. I'm not even sure if I am still filming at this point because I just looked up and it says my bit rate is super slow. My stream hasn't gotten all the coloring, so I'm hoping that it's all good. Now I'm gonna grab my gray granite and smoky slate so that I can color my raccoon. All right, there is the colors for my raccoon. I'm gonna throw these back up here where they go. And hopefully my computer will catch up. So the colors I have for my raccoon are light black and light and dark gray granite. So I'm gonna go ahead and just test these colors over here. It's always good to test your colors first. I'm gonna go ahead with the light black and I'm gonna color around his eyes. And the stripe he has down the middle of his head. And then 2 of his tail stripes. I wonder if my internet connection is just not working very well. Okay, now I'm going to take my dark gray granite. And I'm just going to color the rest of my raccoon, except for the inside of the ears. I'm going to do the insides of the ears in a light. And I'm going to do under his chin in a light. And I'm going to use the light for his belly. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that here. Finish my tail. I'm going to do this. All right, now I'm just going to kind of bring that line up there. And now I'm going to take the light. And there we go. Oh, I got to do the inside of his ears and the lower part of his face. Now, the bunny I'm going to leave white, but I want to show you a little trick. Now, when you are coloring white, you know, white animals have a shadow. So I'm going to take my light gray granite and I'm just going to kind of go up around the ears just a little, not adding too much. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to kind of do small circles up into the white area where I didn't and kind of blend out that harsh line of the gray, because even white animals have shadows. And that's it. All my coloring. Oh, I forgot to do the ball on his hat. And I'm going to go back over here with the green. There we go. Now I'm done with all the coloring. So I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm going to be cutting that sentiment into a strip. There we are. I wonder, I got a fingerprint here. Well, we're going to put the bird on that side, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll quickly fussy cut our animals out. Really wish there were dies for these, but guess I can't have everything. So when I'm fussy cutting, I make sure I'm moving the paper, not the scissors. And I try and leave a little white border around my images. There we go. There's one. And cut my little bird out. Got awfully quiet there. I was focused on cutting. Next up, my little raccoon. He's so cute. But my favorite animal of this whole set is the moose. So next weekend, so this weekend is October 8th. And that's how far behind I am on recording videos for Hostess Club. Hostess Club will be again next weekend, October 14th and 15th, or 15th and 16th. I cannot do a Friday class this month because I have a training in Missoula on Friday and I'm not sure what time I'll be back. But I do have our first project designed and prepped for next week. So I will be showing you that at the end of this video today. It is so cute. We're going to be using the Hello Harvest stamp set. Now, this moose is going to be glued onto white cardstock. So you're not going to see, like if I leave white between his legs and stuff, it's going to be okay because it's going to blend right into the background where it's going to be glued. Okay. All right. I really think that this Shadow Box Fun Fold card is so much fun and it's adorable. And I wanted to show you how versatile it could be. using what you already have on hand. And you know, while we made 2 Christmas cards today, you could certainly make this into a Halloween card or a Thanksgiving card, or how fun would it be to have balloons layered up on the inside of that shadow box for a fun birthday card. All right, just about done here. All right, so there's our little moose. I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim out my little strip here so it's nice and straight. I'm gonna do the best I can anyway. There we are. Perfect. That will work. All right, let's go ahead and grab my card here. I'm going to start off with my strip. I left my glue open, so oh, but good, it does work. I'm going to put my strip here right down on the center. Now I just pull it to one side so that it will lay flat. There we have that. And now I'm going to take my moose, put glue all over the back of, oh, dropped him there, of him. Now I'm going to, all right, so have that centered the best I can. There we go. He's not perfectly centered, but maybe I can scoot him over just a little bit. Nope, it's okay though. He's good. Now I'm going to take my red strip, and just like I did on the last one, I'm going to lay it so it's straight. Then I'm going to fold over, and I'm going to fold over. Okay. Add a little glue underneath. There we go. Perfect. Here is my centerpiece that I took out. And I got to do a little bit of embossing. But I noticed that my stamp has fuzzies all over it. All right, hopefully I got that cleaned up. So let's go ahead and grab my heat embossing box. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my embossing buddy, and then I'm going to take my Versamark ink pad. There we are. And I'm going to stamp "You Are the Coolest" in the upper right hand corner. Just like that. And I'm going to take my white embossing powder. Sprinkle that on. Give it another coat. Let it sit there for just a second. There we are. And I'm going to heat set that. So let me grab my heat gun. And you just want to melt it until it's nice bright white. Give that a second to cool. All right, set that over there. I'm going to go ahead and get this slid down right in the center. I'm going to put some glue across there. And now I'm going to just center that. Then I'm going to build up all my little animals right around that. I'm going to wipe off all that excess powder from the Stamp Buddy, Embossing Buddy. Grab my, I think I'm going to glue him flat. He's going to go right there. He's just so cute. And then this little bunny, put some glue on him, and he's going to go right there on the other side of my sentiment. Then I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to pop my little bird up. And he's going to pop right there. So there we go. That is our second card of the day. So, and here's the original. Okay. And then there are the cards from. There we go. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. That would be amazing. I hope you all have an incredible day. Let me go ahead and give you a sneak peek into one of the projects for our next Hostess Club. It's going to be black and white. Opens like that on the front, and then you can flip it open and it looks like that. And this is a smaller version card. So I love how simple and elegant it is. Has some vellum, some foil detail, but not everything has to be colored. And that's what I was trying to show. You know, some things look beautiful in black and white as well. So I hope to see you next week at Hostess Club, and all orders will be due by the end of the day on October 16th. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.